Be excellent to each other. Party on. We're back for another Legacy League. And today we're playing Black Red Aggro with Moonshadow and this new card that was just printed in the Ninja Turtles set. Very excited about it. I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. I'm not a fan of them putting Ninja Turtles into my Magic the Gathering, but I can't deny this is a cracked freaking card. Tokka and Rahzar, terrible twos. So, legendary creature. It's hybrid red-black mana, 2 of those. And then you get a 3/2 menace creature. It's a turtle wolf mutant. They cannot be countered. Whenever a player casts a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value, Tokka and Rahzar deals 3 damage to that player. So basically, Force of Will, Daze, Murktide, like so many cards in Legacy, people are trying to kind of cheat on mana and cast them for free. And Tokka and Rahzar are here to punish those players. The rest of the deck is very similar to what I've been playing. I did take out Fire Blast because I don't really want to do a bunch of damage to myself and sacrifice 2 mountains just to do 4 damage to a target. So instead, we're playing this card, Shard Volley. This is a one of, fun of, and it is essentially a lightning bolt where you just sacrifice a land, but it's an instant. Otherwise, it's just like lightning bolt, and that can often be favorable because we can put a land into the grave, thus growing our Moonshadows. We're going to play a full 5 rounds as always. Oh, a couple changes to the mana base. If you've watched my recent videos where I play this deck, I went ahead and put in 2 basics because we did go up in the curve a little bit. And now since we're playing 2 basics, I feel like we can put Baragoyf in, and I feel like he's going to be better than Fatal Push because we already have lots of ways of removing creatures, but what we don't have is our own top end threat. So hopefully Baragoyf can come in the kind of black mirrors and also against like control decks where you just want as many threats as possible. So I'm excited to have Uncle Barry in the house. First round, our opponent could be on anything. They've traditionally played fair decks. Let's take a look at this hand. So this is a DRC start. We've got Street Wraith, some burn spells. I think double. Let's see. Can we get Delirious? We have creature, land, instant. Yeah, I think we'll likely get Delirious here. I'm going to keep this. Generally, DRC is just an insane cracked Magic card that you want to be able to start with. I'm a little bit worried that they may have Bowmaster here if they have black. Okay, blue. They're just jumping straight to Ponder. They don't even know what we're on, so they're probably looking for a combo or they're looking for a land drop. Like generally, I like to hold my Ponders until I know what my opponent's on. All right, so Bowmaster's not bad. I'm going to start with the Street Wraith. I would love to find a Petal here. Another Street Wraith. Well, I will do some more damage to myself here. A Bauble. Love it. So we're going to go get the... we can get a mountain here. Yeah, I think we just get a mountain. And then the next land might be a dual land. We'll see what happens. DRC's in. Hopefully. No, they've got the Daze. Okay. Well, I'm just going to hold my Bauble because I get extra value with it next turn. And they might... Yeah, I'm going to hold it. If we get the vibe that they're... Okay, so they're not going to Bowmaster this turn. Okay, there's Tomio. She is annoying as ever. We will bolt her. I am going to get the DRC out first, and then I'll just fetch a... Yeah, I can actually fetch... It doesn't really matter, because these will all fetch the same thing. Okay, so we're not going to get this one dazed. Let's go ahead and fetch. I'm just going to go ahead and get the Blood Crypt here. I'll take some additional damage. We're really doing a lot of damage to ourselves here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to Bauble first, see what we find. Marsh Flats can go in the graveyard. Let's go ahead and take a look at their hand and see if we can glean some information. They have a Murktide Regent. Well, that's going to be potentially problematic. I do... Okay, let's think about this, because this feeds the Murk. If we bolt them, we might be able to get Delirious and they can't even attack it anyway, and we could just ignore this. I think I'm going to do that because this gets her out of Bowmaster's range, but I could just chill and she's going to get out of Bowmaster range either way. And then I might be able to surprise. Yeah. I mean, they're probably thinking, oh, they have Bolt. Why would they fetch this and then not use the mana? So we get a card. Okay, another Bowmasters. So I think I'm going to just do a lot of damage to their face is what I'd like to do. Okay, so that doesn't cast the card. They are attacking. I will go ahead and let them investigate. Oh, no, I probably should have done that because I just gave them an extra card. So this is going to just get us in the air here. And this, unfortunately, they could respond with the Bowmasters. They respond with a Fatal Push. Okay. We still get a surveil. That can go in the yard. All right, so they take 3. They get a clue. They can't crack it. Their graveyard is such that like the next land, and they'll definitely be able to play a Murktide, and it'll be pretty big too. Chain Lightning. Okay, so here's what I think we do. I do have to cast this Chain Lightning. So what I think I'm going to do, I can go get a swamp here, and then I'm just going to main phase a Bowmaster, and then I'm going to main phase a Bolt. Okay, they didn't brainstorm. They could have brainstormed if they had it. Now I'm just going to main phase this. Like, I don't feel confident we're likely going to be able to clear the Murktide. I just want to make it awkward for them to attack. So if they attack, like if they get the Murktide out, he's a big wall for 1 turn. But after that, I'll be able to attack for a lot. Let's just hope they don't find a land. They find like a Wasteland. Okay, they did find the land. So Murktide is going to almost certainly make an appearance here. Okay. So we're dead in 2 turns, unfortunately. We do get the first attack. They can attack with Tamiyo. We don't have a good main deck answer. Okay, they're not attacking with Tamiyo. They realize that that doesn't matter anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and bobble here. I just hope that they get desperate and do something that Bowmasters can punish. They're going to draw a Nethergoyf. All right, that doesn't actually do anything with their current situation. It does serve as a blocker. So I'll just pass. I don't have good attacks. They're going to attack with Murktide. They can hold back the Tamiyo. I get a card. They do not Bowmaster it. It's not a card that helps us. Unfortunately, this Murktide is just too huge. We can bring in the Pyros, and I'll definitely bring in Baragoi for this matchup. So I'll take my 6 damage, and they'll probably play out the Nethergoyf, which I can just, Bowmaster ping. Okay. So unfortunately, this can grow when they fetch. And fetching, yeah, it immediately goes to their yard. I think, like, it goes on the stack technically. I don't think I have the luxury of waiting here. I'll just do the damage to them because they can just, they're going to be able to make this a 1-2 anyway, unfortunately. This has got to be an exceptional draw. Like a second burn spell might be able to do it. Nethergoyf is a 5-6. Unfortunately, it just doesn't matter. I could have saved my burn spell for the Murktide. I did have 6. Yeah, there's no hope. We just don't have enough damage on board. Okay. Game 2. Got slain by the giant dragon. Pyroblast, get in the deck. Baragoi, get in the deck. I think we could take a Shard Volley. I don't think Burn's where we want to be. Tokka and Rahzar should be pretty good. It's Menace, so it's evasive. I mean, we could definitely shave some baubles against their Bowmaster deck. I am kind of worried about that. But the baubles are kind of part of our mana base. Yeah, I think I'm going to shave 3 baubles, and I hope that's not too devastating. I don't want to take out threats. If they bring in Leyline of the Void, I don't think they play Leyline of the Void, so I don't think we have to worry about it. Generally, blue decks don't play it. It is very good against our deck. This is fine. I'll keep this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start with a Bloodstained Mire, I think, and then go get, or I'll start with the Marsh Flats. I'll go to Swamp, and I'm just going to play on basics. I don't want to get disrupted here. Okay, we'll pass. If they play out a Tamiyo, I probably respect it with a Chain Lightning. There she is. All right, I am going to respect her. Oh, that's so good. I'm going to go get the Mountain. Huh. Do I still want to respect her? Well, I don't get an attack if I don't take her out. They probably just daze this, and then that also saves them 2 life. Okay, they don't. That's good. Okay, they take 2 life. Baragoi is going to be a huge ordeal if they get to Baragoi mana. Pondering. Flooded Strand. They may just be getting all their cantrips out because they know Bowmasters is coming. Okay, Nethergoyf. That's a good card. All right, so here, I think we can just fetch and Raucous Theater. I just want to make sure this is big enough before I attack. That is not necessary. Unfortunately, it doesn't grow our dude. So we could Bowmaster, and then if they counter it, it grows both our Moonshadow and our Nethergoyf. Is this worth keeping? I think we can do better. So thinking about this, I do want to attack with both. Yeah, if I attack with both and they block and then they counter my Bowmaster, it's totally fine. No, wait. If they don't counter my Bowmaster, my Nethergoyf will die in combat. I could just go ahead and Bowmaster now and see whether they want to counter it. Okay, we're in. So I'll just ping this. That way I get to attack No, that doesn't work. I'll just ping them. Okay. And then I'll attack for 3 minutes. So because they use creature destruction spells instead of exile spells, like if they kill any of our stuff, it is going to trigger Moonshadow and she's going to grow. All right. They've got 3 mana. Okay. They didn't attack. All right. That's not a good draw. Well, I'm going to go ahead and theater. And I'm looking to bin a permanent, but not that permanent. It would grow our cards a lot. Let's think about this. So if we bin this, then we can attack basically I'm going to keep it. I think it's too good. Now my opponent's probably going to ask, like, what would they have? I think what I do here is I attack like this. They don't have instant in their yard. They could have a Bowmasters. I think I'll just attack like this, and if they Bowmaster, I can at least bolt and trade with the Nethergoyf. Okay, they do have the Bowmaster. This is going to hit our Bowmaster, most likely. Okay, this is fine. It does give them Bowmaster abilities back, and then let's just see how they block. They might block all 5. I think we just bolt the Nethergoyf. No, if we bolt this, then this dies. Yeah, let's try that. They could have an instant, and they could grow the Nethergoyf. They do. That's a bummer. Yeah, I'm not sure if I played that correctly. Because I thought there was a high likelihood that they had a Bowmasters. And now we know that they have a Bowmasters. So Nethergoyf will actually survive. Just a complete disaster. Yeah, and we got the token that we don't even care about. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to lose. So we do have Baragoyf, but if they have a Fatal Push, that wins. If I were them, I would... Yeah, I definitely think that's correct. Just to reduce our material. But we do have a land, so now if they have a Daze, it's a problem. This Merc, oh man, another Merc. Well, luckily, if this sticks, if we actually get it through, we'll be in pretty good position. All right, let's try. I don't have good attacks. I am going to go ahead and just try this, and if this fails, if they have a Daze, I'll just concede. I don't think we're going to catch up. I do have to shock this in, unfortunately. Oh, I think this is a favorable matchup, but... things are not going well for us here. Baragoyf is in, and it is a mirror breaker type thing where like they'll basically have to block it if they don't have a Fatal Push. They have the Revolt, so Fatal Push just cleanly kills this, unfortunately. Yeah, I imagine they're just getting a Fatal Push this. Wasteland of the Yard. I guess I could draw another one in time. I'll take it. I have to start attacking with everything here to race. Another Baragoyf is the best draw. DRC's Aerial. I'm going to go ahead and attack with everything, and then I can put this DRC up, and then I have the option of killing them next turn. They could just neglect this and just block it with this. But having this out means I can... Yeah, I think I just attack with Nethergoyf here first, and then I'll play the DRC. Okay, they are chumping there. Yeah, that's fine. So we have an aerial attacker that must attack. So this is their one chance to block if they choose to attack. They shouldn't attack, though. Bowmaster is kind of annoying because it really gums up our ground game. And they have the snuff out, too. Brutal. Okay, so are we dead? We're taking 8? We're not dead. We're very close to dead. We could draw a bolt. We need 2 bolts, so yeah, we can't draw 2 bolts, unfortunately. Baragoyf doesn't do it because they have an aerial attack. Close one. Kind of close. Yeah, I don't know. I think if we play this match a whole lot, like I do think we're actually favored. Right, our opponent was most recently on the combo. Necrodominus combo. I think, given that they're on Necrodominus combo, Lightning Bolt is probably actually our best option here. Bowmasters can make it awkward for them to draw, but they can just win with the triggers on the stack. I'll keep this. If they're not on Necrodominus combo, this has, lands and spells. It is more mana sources than I'd like. They mulled to 6. We are on the play, so we get to actually do something here. We don't have good options against their deck, unfortunately. We have Thoughtseize. So I'll just go ahead and bobble them and get a feel for whether they actually are on Necrodominus. Pluto Delta. Okay, so that's not generally in Necrodominance, I don't think. Yeah, so they might just be on like blue-black tempo is the most likely thing. I am going to just play out my Petals and my Fetch and we can Surveil, or we can Bowmaster in the end step if we need to be aggro. All right, Street Wraith. I'm going to go ahead and use it. Another pedal. That sucks. We don't have like Brainstorm or anything to put these back. I'm not going to play with the Bowmasters. I'm going to try to like hold it and just ensure that I get some non-chaff because I've got a handful of air basically here. Yeah, so bad. All right, let's see some non-mana sources, please. Oh, so unfortunate. Well, I am going to play these out just in case like we get into some fight over mana, like Dazes or something. So they'll probably Surveil here, but like we're just doing nothing. This hand has been a disaster. It could be that like just adding one land to the deck tipped us into flood territory because we're at 17 lands and 4 petals, and it feels like all the games we've played so far have been flooded. Okay, Urza Saga. So they... Are they on like Black Saga Storm or something? Okay, Wishclaw's Talisman. Right, well, we don't have time to really do anything now because they're going to win next turn. So I am going to go ahead and play this out. LED. Okay. All right, they're not cracking yet. So I don't think they're going to give us a new hand or anything like that. I think they're just going to try to win through their graveyard, most likely. I'll untap. I'm not going to show them just how much damage I have. And there we go. That's a good card. It's probably too late. I'm going to keep this in hand. We don't need any more mana out. It doesn't really do anything. They could just start attacking us with these constructs, and that'd be pretty disastrous. I don't want my life total to get lower because every time we lower our life total, like these Urza Saga constructs become a little bit more menacing, and we have to worry about them needing less storm. Okay, so are they going to create the construct? Veil of Summer. That does not change anything. You and permanent you control gain hexproof from blue and black. So unfortunately, this does change things. I can't stop them doing stuff here. So I'll just accept that. And now they should be able to combo off, but if they get greedy, like the bolt might help. Okay, they're using that ability. They bin their entire hand, so they're gonna go get like Beseech, and then they're gonna Beseech, and they're going to be able to cast everything in their graveyard again. And I think they will have enough storm to just storm me out. We'll see. Okay, there's Beseech. Can't be countered. Cast with Bargain. They can Beseech one more time, but I don't think they have the storm to win. Unfortunately, the storm count is not showing up. I think storm is like 3 or 4 right now. This is guy as well. So they haven't made a land drop yet. So they can make a land drop. They have LED. Urza Saga's back. So they get the mana, and that's something they can use to bargain. So they could crack LED, tap Urza Saga, Beseech one more time with Bargain. That might be enough storm. Again, annoying that it just doesn't automatically show the storm when somebody's obviously storming off. They could Infernal Tutor here. No, they're just going to Beseech. Okay, so storm is 5. Yeah, wow, they scooped. They couldn't. I think they miscounted. Okay, we got lucky. That's why you don't concede, even though they have a deterministic line. It wasn't deterministic. They didn't have enough mana. Okay, so here, I mean, Thoughtseize is the best thing. I think Leyline of the Void, it does at least something against them, but is that really where we want to go? All it really does is stops them from using Gaia as well lines. I don't think it's good enough. I think Smash the Smithereens is better because if they put like something out and they pass the turn, we can go after it. Let's talk about what is not going to be good enough. Shard Volley. I don't believe in the burn here. I just don't think it's where we need to go. I think we need to get threats out and disrupt them before they can get their win on. Also, Tokka and Rahzar are very good against a lot of the cards they're going to be doing. So hopefully we can actually see this card. I am only playing 2 because it's legendary, but if it weren't legendary, I'd be trying all 4 probably. It'd be ridiculous. We could trim a basic. I think we could just trim the swamp. Trim the mountain. I think swamp is actually more important here. And then we have to trim one more card. Netherglaive can come down and do a lot of damage very quickly. Maybe Smash the Smithereens is a 3 of. Yeah, against this deck. I am kind of worried about their construct plan, so maybe I should have kept the 4th one in. Okay, so there we go. This is a freaking hand. So we've got Moonshadow, and then we grow it. Yeah, we don't have Thoughtseize, but I'm not going to mulligan aggressively to Thoughtseize. Because just being able to kill them quickly is pretty good on its own. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to swamp Lotus Petal, Moonshadow, Netherglyph here. Unless they play out an artifact. Then I could just, smash it. Like if they play out really any artifact is probably worth smashing. Just to keep their material light. Okay, Undercity Sewer. We do not have Wasteland in the deck. I did think about putting Wastelands, but I'd rather just have good mana. They're passing and they're letting me blow up their LED. I'm here for that. Oh, wow. That's so good. Moonshadow. Petal. And there are lots of lines we could take here. Obviously, Bowmaster is good too, but I'm just going to trust that blowing up this LED is going to be good for us. They probably played it out because they wanted to avoid us. I think that is very important to them. Okay. All right. So we're going to start bleeding them out here. Okay. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and use it. Card on top is Leyline of the Void. Well, that's a good card to have in your deck. Unfortunately for them, it's not going to do anything in this game, I don't think. We're going to bin any permanent. Now we'll play out another Netherglyph. And we will attack for 5. I'm not worried about their constructs because Moonshadow has evasion. And Netherglyph can chump if we need to. And we can chump several turns for Bowmaster. We got our card. It is another good one. All right. I would love to smash another thing. I think with smash, yeah, we'll see what they do here. They may just go for it. But if they wait one more turn, they can get the LED. Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't help enough. Okay, I think we got this. All right. So Street Wraith doesn't actually do anything positive. It reduces our life total. It doesn't grow our Netherglyph or our Moonshadow, but it might draw us into something else good. I want to try it. Okay, another Netherglyph. He's not terrible, but I'd rather Bowmaster them. So I'll just hold up Bowmasters and Smash here, and I'll just come in like this. They're at 3. They're going to need a miracle. If they put any artifact out, we just smash it. Assuming it can't be sacrificed. LED. Okay, so here, if I blow up their LED, it does 3 to them, and they have to discard their hand, and then they die. So I think this is an easy play. No, wait. Yeah, they'll have to discard whatever's in their hand. So they have to crack this to survive, but then they don't have any spells to cast. Good games. Round 3, we're 1-1. We're up against a likely stompy gamer. This hand is too slow, frankly. I would love to use Tokka and Rahzar finally, but this doesn't do anything, and I want to do something powerful turn 1. We're an aggro deck. This is way better. Holy cow. I'll put back the Shard Volley here, I think. I could put back Tokka and Rahzar, but I think Shard Volley goes back just because, let's say hypothetically, we don't draw land. They call me a Storm Master. I don't know what that means. I'm not a Storm Master. I could say I'm above average at beating Storm, like we just did, even with a non-blue deck. All right. I think they may be confusing me for someone else. Maybe they're confusing me for the Epic Storm. All right. So this is just like an insane freaking turn. Check this out. I'm going to go ahead and get the dual land and be fearless. Well, I don't actually have to be fearless. I can just get the swamp. I think it may actually be safer to get the swamp here. Because I don't want to be completely landless if they blow up my board somehow. We're just doing disgusting things over here. Okay, so let's add some red. Moonshadow is going to grow a lot this turn. Let's play our DRC out. Now we'll play our bubble out. Shard Valley. I thought I just put that on the bottom of my deck. How did that? Oh, yeah, I guess we shuffled. Well, that goes in the graveyard. Unfortunately, it doesn't grow the Moonshadow. I'll take a draw. Hopefully we find... any land is fine from here. Oh, show and tell. Okay, so what you're saying is we have to kill you quickly. The good thing about Tokka and Rahzar, if we get that in play, they are going to take a lot of damage if they Omniscience. Yeah, this is fine. I think I just wait and see what I draw. Yeah, I don't think there's any benefit to Street Wraithing right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this first because I want to find a land and get my Tokka on. So that goes in the graveyard. I'm going to go ahead and do this first. See what they're drawing. Drawing a City of Traders. So they could go for it. Oh, wait, did we see show and tell the previous turn? So they're probably going to go for it. Come on, land. I mean, it's not terrible. We've got enough pressure that they're dead in like 2 turns. They're fetching here. Okay, so they did fetch away like a soul land. They're brainstorming. They might try to force this but it does grow the Moonshadow. And they're on a 2-turn clock now. This actually, they just scooped to that. Holy cow. All right. So this is like, when people ask me why I play this instead of just playing blue-black tempo, of course we did get destroyed by blue-black tempo, and it wasn't close. First of all, this deck is no reserve list, so you can build it for a few $100s. That's a compelling reason if you're new to the format. The second thing I'd say is this can just functionally turn 3 people, and that's what we were going to do. So here, I bring in the Thoughtseizes and I bring in the Pyroblasts. We'll take out the Shard Volley. It's often going to be just removed, and like it's really good against like, creature heavy decks, like especially the 2 main aggro decks in the format right now, Mardu Tokens and Cradle Control. But it's not very like, we're not going to want to have a whole lot of bolts in our deck against the other types of decks. So here, I think we just take out the Chain Lightning, or actually I might take out the Lightning Bolts because I just added, well, I want to get Delirium. So I think maybe we do 2 of each. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. We don't have to mess with our mana. We don't have to do anything like that. We can just keep our mana base the way it is and just go for it. All right, this is a Pyroblast hand. I like it. I'll keep this. They could go as early as turn 2, unfortunately. We'll see how they start. I do need to have the Pyroblast up, but I don't want to like just live in fear and cower behind Untap Mountain the entire time. I think if I don't make a turn 1 play, it's going to telegraph that we have Pyroblast. So I think I actually do need to play the Netherglyph turn 1. Also, they can absolutely overload our Pyroblast. I'm just going to hope they don't go for it next turn. If they do, I can put in Tokka and Rahzar, and then at least if they have to cantrip a lot with Omniscience, we can win that way. I'm very excited to play this. I think this is one of the matchups where it's really good. Okay, this is actually really good because we can hold up Pyroblast while having a Netherglyph in play. Or we could just jam Tokka and Rahzar, which is uncounterable, and we'll make their counter. I think it's better to just wait a turn cycle. So I'll just grab a Blood Crypt. I'm not too worried about my life total. If they get Emrakul on the table, like the game's probably over anyway. I think they actually do have a force by the way they're like pausing. So unfortunately, that means our Pyroblast is probably not going to save us. Petal. Ancient Tomb. Okay. So they have Pyroblast or Hydroblast on top of what they're doing. Oh, they're doing this. Sneak attack. I unfortunately cannot do anything about that. So we might die here. We can Pyroblast Atraxa. I'm just going to chill. Okay, Street Wraith is actually fine. I want a Street Wraith now. Okay, that sucks. I think we just go get... Yeah, I think we just go get a Swamp here so we can preserve our life total a little bit. We're dead to... Yeah, and then I'll token raise. Mountain is actually better based on our hand. So I'll just get a Mountain here. And then we'll just... Pew. Tokka and Rahzar. Can't be countered. First time casting this on the Be Excellent channel. Welcome. I think you are going to be a very cool card going forward. At this point, like... They do get to sneak attack and attack us and gain a bunch of life. I might need to pyro that. It does reduce the total amount of damage I'm doing with Netherglyph here. Yeah, I don't think it can be changed. Like, if I crack this, I can do so much more damage. Oh, let's think about it. Like, they hit us with the Atraxa, but that's like a 7-point swing if we were able to pedal that, pedal and pyroblast it. I think we're going to lose, though. So, okay. And is this Emrakul? Okay, Atraxa. I can actually interact with Atraxa, and I am going to. And I'll do it now before they get to do anything. They could have just found another one and a pedal. They would have found a force. They did find a second Atraxa. They have a Misty Rainforest. I think we can concede this. I'm not going to cling on to hope. They're going to get like another 4 or 5 cards after they've already done their Atraxa thing. So, okay. We did show them Pyroblast, but I don't think that's a problem. We are a red deck. It shouldn't be too surprising that we have it in there. I'm just going to run it back. This is why Baraglyph is like a sideboard card, in my opinion. For most intents and purposes, he's just too slow for these kinds of matchups. It's like completely... Yeah, I just don't think this is fast enough. Let's find some god hand. I mean, this is pretty insane. I'm going to keep this. Double. Yeah, so I'll put back a Street Wraith. I could have put back a Petal, but it doesn't feel right. Okay, they have Leyline of the Void. Unfortunately, that does do a lot of damage to our offensive. I'm just going to go ahead and cycle this. Be reckless with my life total. Moonshadow, unfortunately, doesn't do anything here. It's just a 1/1. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just... I could play at the Moonshadow, but I want to go ahead and Thoughtseize them. And I might naturally draw something better to play than Moonshadow. Well, let's just Thoughtseize them, see whether we need to Thougeize them again. Okay, so they have both Show and Tell and Sneak Attack. They have a Braid. So if we take the Atraxa, then we're just waiting for them to draw something good. I think we have to take the Enablers here. They only have 8 of those Enablers in their deck. So if we take the Show and Tell, they almost certainly can't do anything next turn. I could just play out the Moonshadow just for something to hit them. And they may not want to abrade it. It may feel too bad to abrade it. Yeah, I'm going to leave the threats in their hand. I'm trying to think of a reason why I wouldn't... Like, they're not going to go after our land. We'll always have... We're only going to get 1 card per turn, so it doesn't really matter that we're using our Soul Petal here. Next turn, I can Thoughtseize them again and take the Sneak Attack. And we have a few turns. Like, even if they disrupt that, we might be able to find enough pressure to kill them before they can get to 4 mana, because they only have 3 mana. They don't have any Soul Lands. Actually, they only have 2 mana. All right. Let's go ahead and see what they're drawing. That can inform whether we want to hit them now or later. Okay, they're drawing another Leyline. That's not a good card. I think I'm just going to go ahead and Thoughtseize the Sneak Attack out of their hand. And then I'll just fetch Surveil. I'm already down to 11. Okay, that's the first blood. I don't imagine they're going to bother abrading this, but it will do damage if they stall out. So the cards I'm looking for, Tokka and Rahzar is good. Bowmaster is good. So we get a card. I could fetch Surveil now. Yeah, I think I'll do that just to ensure that I get a decent card. I can't ensure. I can ensure that I don't get a terrible card. That is a terrible card. That does nothing here. So we dodged that. That was a very nice dodge. Okay, and a Bobble at least is a redraw. Okay, Delta is out. We know they have this. They have a Leyline in hand. Okay, Pyroblast is something that we can do. Let's go ahead and take a look at their hand. It'll probably just be a card we've already seen. Okay, the card is Abrade. Okay, so I trust that that's probably the same Abrade we saw earlier. They're taking it. They're at 17. We get our card. Please don't be another Goif. It's a land. That sucks. But this does represent like a fetch Surveil. It's not good, but it's not atrocious. Okay. Come on, let's get some good stuff. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and come across, and we'll just play our second little 1/1 for 1. They are not responding to that. I'll play this out, and I will play out the Moonshadow. And then in the end step, I can fetch Surveil. They will probably fetch Surveil themselves. They're at 15. All right. They haven't found any... Okay, they've been on Atraxa. So had I taken the Atraxa, they would have drawn the redundant Atraxa now. Okay, 3 red mana. Just like Pyroclasm, Fire Magic, Brotherhood's End. Okay. That's a 2 for 1. They still have the Abrade in hand. So we're going to go get our other Surveil land. Let's find like a Bowmaster would be the best draw. I mean, like, do I want this? It's so bad. It's so bad. I feel like it's just too slow. Yeah, I don't want this. I'll probably just draw a land or something, but like I'm getting closer to the good cards in my deck. There we go. I'll just chill. They have the Abrade, but like they may do something where... Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. So bad. I'm not even going to bother playing that out. It does nothing in this matchup. Technically, it's a card that we could sacrifice. Yeah, they're just going to Abrade our Bowmaster here. It's fine. Technically, Nethergoyf is a card we can sacrifice if they get... but if they get Annihilator, we're dead anyway. So I'm just going to hold it. Keep the mystery. All right, they're at 13. We did attack them. At this point, like, if they get... what's it called out, then the game's just over. And unfortunately, Pyroblast doesn't help us with that. Yeah, there we go. So we already know that they have an Atraxa in hand. We could rip a Thoughtseize. I think that's the only thing that can save us. DRC is actually a blocker for her. I guess I play that out. But like, what are the odds they don't just find? Wait, it's not a blocker. I guess I can just Pyroblast her so they don't gain life and they don't get to attack us. I mean, that's the best I can do, sadly. And then they may just like find an Emrakul here. But I am going to do this just because I feel pretty confident they don't have, like, if they whiff on creatures somehow, and this also lets me surveil. And they have a Brainstorm. They're looking at a bunch of cards, but they're going to look at those cards again. But they can, yeah, that goes in the yard, or into exile rather. Okay, and they just have another sneak attack, and this is probably Emrakul, and we can move on to the next game. All right, round 3. We are 1-2 after losses to Blue-Black Tempo and a loss to Show and Tell, which is not terribly surprising that we're losing to Show and Tell with a non-blue deck that's an aggro deck. This is fine. I like the opening DRC and double trigger. This is great, actually. If we suspect they're on, so they could be on anything. They play a wide variety of decks. If we suspect they're on Daze, then it probably makes sense to pedal first. Or to play a land, then pedal, is what I mean. Okay, they're passing. So this absolutely could be Daze. Blue-Black Tempo is the most common deck in the format. So I'm not going to get my DRC Dazed. That would be greedy, just to get an extra surveil. Okay, Street Wraith is great. So let's see. Land, artifact, creature. We're pretty close. I'm going to go ahead and do this first. Just to see what we draw. Because if we draw a second pedal, then I can... Oh, Moonshadow. Well, that changes everything, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and play this out. Ouch. Tap this. Well, I'm going to play this out first. Now I'm going to Moonshadow. Well, yeah, I do want to Moonshadow at this point. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and do red. And we're going to attempt to get our DRC out. And then if we can bin either a creature or like a sorcery or an instant. I should have freaking led with Marsh Flats. I think I punted. Because now, if they have Bowmaster, they can kill our DRC probably. Yeah, I think I totally punted by not fetching. I just wanted to preserve this for later, but my opponent said, I just noticed who I was playing against. Love your content and your enthusiasm and positivity. I appreciate that. Let's put a sorcery instant into the graveyard. I think this actually stays. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a replacement if they kill one. Then I'll just go ahead and do this now. All right, so we're going to see their hand. Tropical Island. Okay, so they're probably on Beans. That's the most likely thing they're on, which does still often, like if they're on the blue-black version, they could absolutely just Bowmaster kill our... and if I'd played this land out, it wouldn't have actually mattered that much. Yeah, we needed more than... We needed this land to be in the yard, and we also needed Urza's Bauble to find an instant or sorcery, which there are only like 9 in our entire deck. Almost everything in our deck is a permanent to maximize Moonshadow triggers. Okay, so they could be on... what deck chooses Thundering Falls as their Surveil land? I'm not sure. We got a lot of pressure. Hoping it might just be a combo deck. I can ponder... Because I think Thundering Falls, the only deck I can think of that it's in is Sneak and Show. Okay, so even more blue-red. I mean, it could be the Trop was just there and they're actually on Delver with the Green Splash for Questing Druid. But I feel good because I don't think my DRC is going to die. And my, well, I don't think they're going to get a 2-for-1. They're probably going to have to 1-for-1 it. All right, so I definitely want to... go ahead and fetch here. I do also want to surveil because it increases the likelihood of getting Delirium. I want to do it. This is their chance to bolt. They don't bolt. Let's grab Theater. I actually do want to bin that just because that gives us Delirium now. I'm going to go ahead and play this before combat because it's so insane. Such a good card. And then if they want to disrupt any of this, is probably going to likely grow the Moonshadow. Okay, so they're taking 7. They're dropping to 12, and they're practically dead next turn. Nethergoyf would have been slightly bigger than DRC, but DRC is just like so much better of a creature than Nethergoyf is in general, and it's evasive. Brainstorm. So if they show and tell for some reason, I'll just put in the theater to potentially grow Moonshadow, and then maybe, just maybe, I can survive. No, I won't be able to survive an Emrakul Strike, but I do have a flying blocker if they show and tell into... stock up. Well, I think that's probably the end of the game because we're going to hit them for a lot next turn. We can theater. I can't fetch and theater, unfortunately. So Raucous Theater is not guaranteed, but I'll fetch, and that'll guarantee the trigger, and then they're going to take 11. And yeah, I mean, they'll be at 1. Yeah, I guess 1's is the closest I can get them. I think the difference between 11, between 1 and 2, it might make a difference because they might have to fetch or something like that. It's a small, most likely I will just put something in the bin. Yeah, let's just do this because this sets up, if for some reason I do have to rebuild, it's most likely that I've been a permanent. Almost all my cards are permanents. I think there are only 9 cards that are not. So that grows the Moonshadow. Now they're taking 11, but if they just show and tell Emrakul, that's just that. I actually should have cast the Netherglow first, but I can't imagine a world in which they counter it. I'll play one out. I'm not going to play the other one out just so I have something to finish them off with, just in case. I think this is the turn where we die, though. Okay, we got it. We got lucky. And actually, if they Emrakul us, we would have died. But if I had even one more life, I could have sacrificed everything except for the Moonshadow and killed them, most likely. Okay, so I feel very confident that we need to Pyroblast and we need Thoughtseize here. And then the cards I'll take out are just the same cards I've been taking out, which are instants and sorceries that don't really do anything. Let's try it again. We have been getting a lot of lands. I mean, I'm not sure. It's too small of a sample size, but I'm not sure it's correct to play basics. It is nice to be able to play it. There was that one game where our... this is a freaking insane hand. Unfortunately, this doesn't interact meaningfully with them, but it is turn 1 Moonshadow into DRC, so it's a high pressure hand. I'm not going to mulligan trying to find a Thoughtseize. I'm just going to hope that we can kill them quickly. Bowmaster also helps because it attacks on a different angle, and that'll be a good turn to play. So we don't have to worry about days generally with this deck, and I am pretty sure that they're on show and tell because they didn't cast any permanents. Oh wow, that's good. So is there a reason I can't imagine them bringing in yeah, I'm just gonna not overthink. Magus of the Moon wouldn't be particularly good against our deck. Okay, so we'll get Blood Crypt here. I'll do some damage to myself. Let's go ahead and Moonshadow here. I mean, just in case they have days, it does make sense to play this out because I'm going to have to use it anyway to play the DRC, so I'm not going to get the trigger. Red. This will continue to grow. DRC. All right. DRC is coming down. Let's go ahead and bobble. This is potentially 2 triggers on Moonshadow, depending on what we hit. I will keep it Thoughtseize. Anything else goes to the grave. And we're going to get some more information about their hand here. Okay, sneak attack. Yeah. Okay, so I was correct. My instincts were correct. We could absolutely die here. We need to do a lot of damage quickly. I might need to Chain Lightning next turn instead, just to do more damage, because Bowmasters, I'm not sure that it's going to be good enough. We can always put it into Omniscience and maybe freeze them out of Omniscience lines, but I'm not sure if they're even playing Omniscience, if they're playing Sneak Attack. They're going to fetch Surveil here probably. But Chain Lightning gives us 3 damage to the dome, and then DRC deals 3, and Moonshadow deals probably 5 or maybe even 6. And then we can fetch and we can get her all the way up to 7. So we can do a lot of damage next turn. Sneak Attack is slower than Show and Tell, but they can regroup pretty effectively with an Atraxa. Okay, second Bowmasters. Your next turn has got to be Chain Lightning and then Fetch Surveil, just to maximize the likelihood. I'll Chain Lightning first to see whether I need to Fetch Surveil. I can always just not, but as long as I'm at least 16, then I might be able to take an Emrakul Strike. I don't think I will. Ponder. Okay, Delta. All right, there's a mountain. I'm going to go ahead and bolt them first. I don't think it's likely that they can counter this, and I just want to see whether I need a double trigger with Moonshadow. That goes to the graveyard, I think. Yeah, I'll put it in the graveyard, and I've got like delirium, like extra delirium now. Because maybe it was... Well, I'm going to fetch anyway, because I have to get this delirious. Well, we're not going to be able to hit for the full amount, unfortunately. So let's grab Raucous Theater here, and then hopefully this yields a permanent. It does. All right, and now we'll hit for 9, and they're basically dead on board. Like, they're going to need an Ancient Tomb, and they're also going to need a Lotus Petal, I think. Yeah, if they have Lotus Petal and Ancient Tomb, they can potentially get Attracts out. They can hit us. But if they have Show and Tell, they could Show and Tell into Sneak Attack. And then they just need like an Ancient Tomb. So they're using like Show and Tell as like an awkward kind of ritual effect, essentially, to save them 1 mana. We got the GGs. They said, impressive deck so fast. Yes. The whole point is turn 3s are possible. Yeah. And I guess with that would have been a turn 3 actually. Yeah. And it was a turn 3 with evasion too. Like both of these are evasive beats. So yeah, pretty cool. All right. See you in the final round. We're 2-2. Final round. We're up against an unknown opponent, Chalky Milk, which I believe is short for chocolate milk, which is delicious if high calorie. I don't know what they're on, but they usually have played fair decks in other formats, so I'm not going to worry too much. This is a no-lander. This is fine. So I think what we do here is we just stick the Moonshadow. On the draw, though, I'm actually kind of concerned because we can't grow this Moonshadow. It could be Bowmaster. We'll definitely put back another Nethergoyf here, but I'm not going to mull any further. We've got threats. We're just going to learn this first game, being on the draw, having to mulligan. Okay, so if they're on Jeskai or something like that, it's good that we have so many threats. All right. Opening with a Ponder. So I'm going to hope they're on Jeskai because Jeskai doesn't have Bowmasters in it. And then I can stick my Moonshadow. And then we'll just hope to overload their removal. Oh, now I can grow my Moonshadow immediately, which is very nice. And this Bauble helps grow the future Nethergoyfs as well. All right. So let's go ahead and just bobble their hand and see how screwed we are here. I don't think this is a terrible matchup, but it's not a great matchup. Okay, Plateau. So Jeskai vibes for sure. Street Wraith. That's nice. Yeah, the main card I'm fearing here is Bowmaster, but they will likely have... They seem to have a pronounced white presence, so we can expect Wrath in the sideboard games. Riddler. That's fine. Okay, so they're just going to draw a card. We're going to kill them before they get to cast that out of exile, hopefully. Is there any reason to do this now? I can't think of one. Just wait and see what we draw. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and Street Wraith. All right. So I think what we have to do here is hope that they don't have board wipe. Let's go ahead and take a look at their top and just see what they're drawing. I could also manipulate my draw this way, but I don't really care. And so anybody who's not a believer in Moonshadow, just look. Like, we've barely done anything. It's already a 4-4 before we even attacked for the first time. It's going to be a 5-5 here. I am going to go ahead and get... I want to get both of these on the table. I think we have to play into any, Wrath type effects they have. Our life total doesn't matter here. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this out. And if they force it, it'll grow. So we're just presenting a whole lot of offensive here. Hoping that it's good enough. If they stop either of these spells, this grows the Moonshadow. Okay, they don't. Next turn, we have Bloodstained Mire for Raucous Theater, so we can get Moonshadow the rest of the way loose if we need to. Draw our card. Not a good card, unfortunately. So this is the game, basically. Can they answer these threats before they die? So I'm 4-color here. Beanstalk. I'm fine with them spending time beanstalking. Plateau in a Beanstalk deck doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, they have Solitude here. That is going to draw them a card. Almost certainly going to take out our Moonshadow. All right, and I think, unfortunately, we're going to lose this game just because we drew so poorly. They're brainstorming here. They may be able to get up to 4 mana in time and get the Riddler out, and that'll be a huge pain because they'll draw 2 cards and they'll have a giant blocker. All right, that's not terrible because it is a type. I'm going to go ahead and just Theater, see what I can put in the yard. I'll hold these fetches just for life. Okay. Is that even any good at this point? It's probably above average, but I think we're desperately just going to need to draw removal here. Or draw a burn, rather. Go ahead and bolt them, and then we'll attack for 8. They're on a 1-turn clock, but I think we're deluding ourselves if we think that they're not going to find an answer to these. They just need a blocker. Another Solitude does it too. Lorien Cycle. Xander's Lounge. They're going to Leyline Bind, and they'll probably draw a card, and if they find a second removal spell, we're dead. Like, I don't hold out a lot of hope for us winning from here. Tokka would be insane here if we can find it. Okay, that cantrips. And now if they have a second one, they can cantrip and remove the other one too. I think Tokka is probably the best thing we could draw here. Well, that's, yeah, precisely what I feared would happen when we started drawing lands. Oh my goodness, I can't do it. It's so hard to play. Like, they're going to, yeah, I just can't do it to myself. Sorry, if you want to see me play it out. Like, the odds of us winning are like sub 1%. I mean, there might be some hope that we drew like double burn spells or something like that, but I just don't think it's likely. So Barragoyf is going to come in the deck, and Thoughtseize is going to come in the deck. I don't think Pyroblast is that great. Tokka and Rahzar are absolutely insane in this matchup if we can find them. I think the burn comes out. Let's take 2 of each. And this one, yeah, it's kind of the weakest. Okay. So now we have Thoughtseize, which is about as control-y as our deck gets. We have Barragoyf. Do we actually want Barragoyf? I'm not convinced that we do. I'd rather have Burn. I'm going to take him out, and I'm just going to bring back in one of each of these. And the reason for that is, like, okay, you got a Barragoyf on like turn 4 or whatever, turn 3, and they've already got like their removal suite online. It's just like we need to be low to the ground. We want the game to end quickly. I do feel like ever since I put the land in the deck, like we've just been flooding so much. Yeah, I mean, this is a flood hand. This sucks. I do need to play the Moonshadow turn 1, and then next turn I can DRC. And yeah, this basic is actually screwing us really badly because I want to be able to pay black here and then also pay red next turn so I can Chain Lightning. I can't do that. They're going to have sweepers online, and I guess we have to commit the Nethergoyf. It feels so stinky. But Moonshadow is how we lead. And I'm not going to mulligan this hand because I need every card. They're going to be drawing lots of cards, and we have no way to pull ahead. So we can't afford to go down cards. I'm so pissed that we drew the Swamp. There's no way that it's correct to play basics in this deck. I've come to that conclusion. Ponder. The best draw I could get is just something I can cast for black. I didn't want to throw away like a graveyard trigger for Moonshadow here. So bad. Yeah, we're totally screwed. I think we're going to die because of our mana base. And I can play with another Nethergoyf, but he's just going to get swept up in the Wrath of the Skies. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this out first. And then we'll play this out. And we do have Burn. We can fill our yard pretty quickly, but we've done so little damage because of this Swamp here. I'm going to go back down to 16. And I might put a third Tokka and Rahzar. We've barely drawn him at all. Okay, Beanstalk. I can't do anything about this. It's terrifying. Now Solitude cantrips. And they're very smart to be playing Solitude. It's very good right now. Another freaking red card that we can't use. That really sucks. Let's go ahead and bolt them. Come on, permanent that I can put in the yard. All right, let's spin that. That grows the Goyf and the Moonshadow. They take 3. They're at 14. The good news is, like, I'm being forced to keep these in my hand, so I won't be blown out as hard as I would have been. But we didn't get Delirium, which we almost certainly could have easily gotten had we just had the mana. So again, like, it may seem like a tiny pedantic issue. Like, whenever I play decks without basics, people are like, you should play basics. It's free to play basics. This is a game that we're going to lose because we played basics. All right, and to nobody's surprise at all, Wrath of the Skies comes and rains on our parade. We can bring back this Nethergoyf. All right, and I'm just going to dump our hand here. I think what I do is I DRC, and then I hold. Let's see if they remove it. Then I can at least end step Bowmasters and attack them. They may have... well, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Do you have the Plow? Or the Force? Okay, we'll go ahead and ping them. Okay, they're going to Plow. So now they need another Plow for our DRC. We have a body. Because they're playing the Plateau, they don't have the ability to Mystic Sanctuary to put Wrath back on top. This is closer than I thought it would be. Tokka and Rahzar is just like insane against this deck because it penalizes so many cards they cast, and it itself has evasion, so they can't just block it with a Felia or a Riddler, and it is uncounterable, which is huge. Okay, they're island cycling. We just don't want them to have another turn. Xander's Lounge. Okay, that means that that they're not going to win this turn unless they're going to Solitude right now. Gosh, they had that too. Beating, an absolute beating. So I need to draw a burn spell now. Okay, well, this is pretty good. And they can't even force their way out of this because they're dead to the next one. You know what? I'm going to attack first because if they have Solitude, I want them to be at 1. I don't want them to like be able to force and then draw Solitude. We don't deserve this game. Okay, we got it. Okay, so this is now the hard mode game. I don't think we change anything. Thoughtseize is still pretty good. They're not coming after our life total. Might be able to rip beans out of their hand. That's the best thing to rip. Yeah, I'll just try this. I cannot wait to remove a land. I probably should have removed a land there, especially on the draw. We definitely don't need 17 land in the deck. This is a pretty strong hand. So I'll just play the Moonshadow out and then I'll double bobble. And then next turn, they're starting with a Triumph. They've got 2 Triumphs in their deck. Oh, that's great. That is a perfect draw. Okay, so now we just take this. We're going to go black, Moonshadow. Now I'll just bobble. I'm just going to bobble, like rip through both of these bobbles just to grow and to get extra cards into our hand. Ponder. Okay, let's go ahead and do this again. We just want to do damage. Caracas doesn't do anything against our deck. It is a white source toward there. And is this white as well? No, it's not. Okay, hopefully this will connect. Okay, we ripped 2 consecutive lands, which is atrocious, unfortunately. Again, can't wait to finish this league so I can remove those from the deck. Remove those basics. I've learned my lesson. I played a deck with Tony Scapone's like mono red prowess. He only had 14 lands. And he was cleaning up with that deck about, a year ago. And it's similar kind of style deck. Creature control with like bobble triggers off DRC. Okay, that could be like Lorien revealed. They tapped it for some reason. And this is big because this means they're not going to be able to Wrath next turn. So I think I do commit more creatures to the fray. Gosh, how can I just draw so many lands? All right, so we're going to go ahead and play this out and see if they counter it. Okay, they didn't counter it. They, in fact, seem to be F6. Just going to go ahead and play this DRC out because it can potentially get wild. I'll just take the damage. I'm not worried about my life. I just want to have good mana colors. Okay, let's come across for 4. Next turn, I think we're almost certainly going to lose this one, unfortunately, just because we flooded so hard. Like every single card matters. Drawing 5 lands is not where you want to be when everything in your deck's a 1-drop, with 6 exceptions. My hope is that they kept like a cantrip heavy hand, thinking that we wouldn't go totally balls to the wall, but that's all our deck does. It only has max speed. This should be a white source, and then they're 1 away from wrathing. We don't have any recourse after they wrath. We just have to max the damage. Teferi is pretty annoying. He can just bounce this right back to hand. I will take him out on the way to killing them, but unfortunately I am playing into wrath when I do that. Gosh! I'm sorry. I don't know how I'm supposed to win when I don't draw anything but land. I've literally drawn land 3 consecutive turns, and I already had, or 4 consecutive turns, right? No, this is the 3rd turn I've drawn land. Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to like keep my composure, but it's just such bad variance. I'm going to start by bolting them. No, I should fetch first. I'll fetch Surveil. But if I'm going to do that, I do need to play at the Moonshadow. I'm almost certain that they're just going to wrath, unfortunately. But I feel like I don't have a choice. Like if they don't have the wrath, we still have a chance. If they're thinking about forcing this, please force it. Okay. The fact that they even thought for a second there, that they hesitated, is heartening. All right. So I do need to fetch first. Let's get a mount. No, I'm going to get a Surveil here. I just need to do as much damage as possible. That is going to go in the yard. Now we will attempt to bolt them. I mean, like I'm sitting here with 3 lands in my hand. At least I'm not drawing a Lotus Petal for turn that I know of. I can't take out Teferi. I just need to go for the Throat. Teferi doesn't negatively impact my deck at all. They're at 4. Again, if Wrath of the Skies weren't likely a card that they cast in a previous game, it's just so likely that that's what they have. They're brainstorming. They just need a white source and a Wrath, and then the game's over. It'll be another... What? Okay, well, man, sorry if I seemed like really negative there. Like, I didn't expect them to... Like, maybe they thought, oh, they've got a bunch of bolts in their hand, or maybe they just couldn't find it. So that was a 3-2. Right? Takes forever for this to load. Yeah, that was a 3-2. It was not bad. Okay, so let's talk deck design decisions. This is a mistake, frankly. Again, I've said it several times. You're sick of hearing me say it. It is a mistake to play basics in this deck. It is not necessary. You're not going to get Blood Moon. If you get Blood Moon, you just laugh in the face of Blood Moon. So we can just get a whole bunch of different... Like, you can make your lands as diverse as you want to. It's unlikely that you're going to get, like, Pithy Needles or something like that, but, like, you should diversify your lands, technically. And these Blood Crypts, like, did it ever matter? I think it might have mattered in, like, one game that we were getting Blood Crypt instead of Badlands. It generally doesn't matter. In fact, I like to decrease the number of Bloodstone Mire because I'm actually a red-black, and so this is the most likely fetch land they'll needle if they get a chance to needle. In fact, I could just not play it at all. And then, like, basically, if somebody's going to needle anything in the blind against my deck, they're probably going to name that. Like, knowing it's a black-red deck. When I say in the blind, I mean, like, without having, checked my surveillance. So we can just cut that, and then we can just play Polluted Deltas instead. Polluted Delta is also nice because it, Polluted Delta and Scalding Tarn mimic being a blue deck. All right, we're back to 16 lands. We just need to make room for one more card. Shard Volley, I don't think it ever came up. In theory, it's good. I do like the idea of having extra burn. I don't like the idea of playing Fire Blast when you're playing Tokka and Rahzar. I don't think we can go up a Tokka and Rahzar if we're staying at 16 lands. I think we're really pushing the number 2 drops you can support in this deck. I also think if we're going to do this, we probably need to take a Baragoyf, but frankly, I didn't board him in at all. I think it's fine to just go back to Fatal Push. And I think what I'm going to do is the matchups where Thoughtseizes is good, it's so good that I feel like maybe we should just ignore, like, go like that and basically just be ready to beat Show and Tell, like, faster combo decks that are blue. And then we don't even have to really overthink. Because Fatal Push, like, we've already got so much removal. I don't know. I definitely think we could just do one Fatal Push, probably. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Also note that, like, at least on MTGO, they have the retro border Fatal Push. Like, I've been waiting for this for like 15 years. Ever since Fatal Push was originally printed. So that's cool. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to put in the last slot. We wanted something that's aggro. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just having a Lava Spike. That way we're getting, like... Well, I don't think you play more than one of these Shard Valleys. That way we're back up to 10 burn spells. Even if there aren't any that hit for 4. Like, these burn spells were good. We definitely got at least one game in that final round, thanks to the burn spell. All right, and that's... that's 5 sorceries, 5 instants. So it's a little bit better balance for DRC. And I like this a lot. Next time I play, I'll play with this configuration. And I am hyped to be playing this. If you are looking for a powerful deck that can just surprise your opponents with his ferocity, I don't think people are ready for 7/7 Moonshadows on turn 2, which does frequently happen. I have a previous league where I hit the opponent for 15 damage on turn 2, which is pretty much unheard of for an aggro deck. I can understand if you're on, like, it's possible with cards that are kind of skipping ahead in the mana curve, like Broadside Bombardiers, but it's pretty rare that you get to do that with just like a 1-drop, right? Like, we're winning with 1-drops. The other thing I'll say is Nethergoyf. I have been thinking about taking him out. The reason I've been thinking about taking him out is, it's additional graveyard dependency. And if you get Leyline, it just feels so bad. Like that match where the Show and Tell player brought in Leyline, it just shut off so much because it does also shut off your DRC. And at least with DRC, you get selection. With Nethergoyf, he's just a 0/1 that does nothing. So you could just take out the Nethergoyf completely and rely on Moonshadow and DRC and Bowmasters and Tokka and Rahzar. And that reduces your creature count. But it does, like, you could also put in like Monastery Swiftspear which is definitely not as strong as Netherglyph, but it doesn't depend on the graveyard at all. And then you could just take out Netherglyph and just play more burn, right? Like, let's say hypothetically we just take these out and we just play more Lava Spikes. Is that good? I mean, like, to an extent, like, there's just some inevitability. Also, if your opponent, like, the fact that Netherglyph doesn't have any sort of evasion to speak of is pretty bad, in my humble opinion. Yeah, and then the question is, okay, what's the other burn spell we played? Somebody mentioned Skullcrack in the comments on one of my burn leagues. So Skullcrack is 2 mana. Players can't gain this life this turn. Damage can't be prevented this turn. Skullcrack deals 3 damage to target player or planeswalker. Now, this is good against if you're up against One Ring, but like our deck generally wins before One Ring comes online. So it's not that big of a deal, but it is nice because it can stop the One Ring trigger. The life gain trigger. But it is yet another 2-drop, and I don't really feel like we can play more 2-drops. We have Smash the Smithereens in our sideboard, which is very good against those things. One card we could consider playing is Cecil, but I just don't feel it. Like, it's a 2/3 on, like, attacking turn 2 at the earliest. Like, and it has no evasion. It technically has Death Touch, but that's not the same as evasion. They can just throw like tokens in front of it and stuff. The fact that DRC and Moonshadow go up in the air, and even this has menace, right? Everything has menace except for the Bowmaster, and Bowmaster serves a unique function in the deck. I don't want to go up a Shard Volley, but maybe like if we're firing these off, it's like we don't even care anymore. So maybe we could put it in. Yeah, I think I'll actually try this, just like a very burn heavy. So I'm going to play a league with that. And until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.